Everybody, what's up? Back with another video, and we're gonna go over a little bit of, probably not the entirety of this Taylor Lorenz versus Chai Rai Chick interview. And of course, I watched it through other streamers and stuff, but I just want to get my own opinion in
Do you know what? Is that a public park?
on this debate. Ugh.
Or is that a private?
No, private.
Private. All right. Well, we'll try to keep it short.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh, the struggles of LA. I swear. Okay. Well, now that we're going.
This bitch is a fucking creep. She literally cropped out a screenshot of Taylor Lorenz crying, and I don't even know the context behind why she's crying. And now she's like, we talk about prying into people's personal life, and she's wearing a shirt by it. I also saw a picture of both of them out, like, cropped out, while like Taylor Lorenz kind of looks like a normal white girl, and this bitch is wearing like a baggy ass long jean skirt all the way down to her ankles, looking ugly as fuck. These people are always like and it's like, I think your politics always reflect how you are as a person. Like, if you're like an ugly person on the inside, you're gonna dress and look ugly on the outside.
So thank you so much for meeting. First of all, I saw Seth Dillon today saying that you guys are no longer affiliated. What happened with there? I know that he invested in you early, was a huge supporter of you. What happened to that relationship?
Just parted ways.
For what reason?
Personal reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? You didn't align.
Totally amicable. I love Seth.
Yeah.
He's a great mentor.
Here the fuck we go. See, look, this is gonna be my motherfucking worst fucking nightmare. We got a fascist bimbo, because I already hate bimbo bitches, and now we got a white supremacist bimbo too. You combine two of my motherfucking worst nightmares together. Here we go.
So why wouldn't you want him involved, or why isn't he involved in the business anymore?
Just personal reasons. I'm not going to get into it.
Oh, okay. When did that sort of break off?
Recently.
Uh-huh. So how many staffers? Tell me a little bit more about your organization.
We are a small team. Just a couple people.
And it's all distributed?
It's what?
It's all distributed, as in it's all remote, pretty much? Or do you guys do you have any office space?
It's remote, yeah.
Got it. So when did you start, I guess, what got you into all this? I've always wanted to ask you. I wrote about sort of the history of your Twitter account, but how did you get involved in politics?
If you watch any of my interviews, I talk about this all the time.
She's asking you now, you condescending stupid bitch. Answer the fucking question. I really don't like when motherfuckers do that, like that weird passive. Oh, I said it before. She's asking you fucking now. Answer the damn question, bitch.
But just, COVID radicalized me.
Yeah. In what
And they
way?
were like forcing us to wear masks and not letting us leave our homes.
Oh, shut the fuck up, bro. You fucking crybabies, bro. Nobody that works for a living complained about lockdown. Every time somebody was bitching about lockdowns, is always some and I hate to be like this, some business owning white person. I hate to fucking be like that, or business owner in fucking general. Fuck you. Fuck going outside. Fuck going to work. I wish we was still on lockdown. I would rather get $800 a week for free and not have to go to some shitty ass job. So fuck you for saying that. If you want to go out there and fucking catch COVID, because you got to keep in mind too, back when lockdowns were a thing, when that shit happened, there was no vaccine there, and nobody was sure if it was anything that you can do to stop yourself from catching it. And they found out that you could wear a mask later. The only thing you fucking had to do was wear a mask for about 5 minutes while you went into Walmart to buy your fucking your caked up makeup and your fucking ugly ass jean skirt. It's not that fucking lockdowns was not as serious as these motherfuckers make them out to be. And as a person who was like, because working an actual job during lockdown, that was a relief. And it was not just to me, but to a lot of people. The U.S. government pretty much single-handedly ended poverty during the fucking lockdowns. So the only motherfuckers that say that, oh, lockdowns were like stopping us from having freedom to work, what the fuck does that even mean? Oh, God, dude. These people are so fucking, like stupid, such fucking crybabies, bro. Like, damn, do you want to go into a fucking Starbucks and be able to sit down so you can complain about how your drink is wrong? That fucking bad? Damn. Like, get a motherfucking life. Most people that actually work for a living And especially the people that were called the quote unquote essential workers got, they got fucked over. None of these people wanted to be at work, but they had to keep going any fucking way.
And not letting us work, and
Not
people
letting
losing
us
their jobs.
work. Like, and it's like, bro, the way that these motherfuckers phrase that shit, nobody wants to fucking work. No, and it's like, aside from people that have Stockholm syndrome, or people that are fucking or like, fucking right wing, hacks and plants, nobody likes working. No fucking body likes working. And these motherfuckers always try to phrase it like they were stopping me from punching the clock and just doing what I do best. I wanted to. This is what I did at the time too. I just want to go package parts and sit in a plant for 8 to 10 hours. Please let me waste my fucking life at a business that I no longer even work at today. Please, like, get the fuck out of here.
Jobs, and then people now forcing a vaccine, an experimental vaccine, people dying from the vaccine.
So how did that get you interested in LGBTQ issues?
It got me interested in politics, and then once I was interested
One conspiracy theory led to another.
in politics, I stumbled upon this whole movement, and I was absolutely appalled by what I was seeing.
Here the fuck we go.
Appalled by what?
The radicalization of it, the way that they come after our most innocent and vulnerable population, or kids.
I really don't like this shit when they like do this hyperbolic and they're trying to come get your kids. Now, it's like a couple of things to this. Number one, telling your kids to respect and understand minorities are the same as they are is not grooming or telling anybody that's anything wrong with you teaching. And then number two, these motherfuckers act like kids can't be gay organically by their fucking self. When kids come into their sexuality, right? Kids are straight. Some kids are gay. Some are trans. Some are even asexual. They don't want to have sex with anybody. These people come into their sexuality, and these motherfuckers act like that the only way a kid can be gay, lesbian, or trans is through grooming. These kids, especially when they get to about 15 or 16, are perfectly capable of making decisions about the people who they want to date and don't want to date, and the type of people they want to spend their motherfucking life and time with. They act like kids are completely incapable of having independent thoughts outside of adult influences. And it's asinine. I don't understand why they say this. Oh, because they hate gay people.
The way that it makes there's nothing logical about it. There's nothing logical about chopping off kids' body parts. There's nothing logical about
Not to mention, even hyperbolic shit like that does not even fucking happen. And it's like, as somebody that's not even a member of the LGBT community, and I'm just a fucking ally, all this shit about kids chopping their body parts off never happened. I've known people that are trans. I've known people that are, gay and what have you. And the most somebody would motherfucking do is dress a little boyish and maybe transition later when they're like 19, 20. Or, somebody will just dress kind of like a girl when they're in high school. This shit about, kids having their quote unquote body parts chopped off don't fucking happen. And then not to mention the fact, and it's like, if you're somebody that believes this shit watching this video, let me like read my lips. You cannot get these surgeries until you're 18 or older, and you have to be under the supervision of a lot of doctors and therapists to signify that you have gender dysphoria and shit. So this shit about, they're just chopping off kids' body parts, they do not and cannot legally do this in anywhere in America, and I'm sure in most organized countries. You cannot do that shit. And when you got like kind of a girl that's kind of tomboyish, or she's like lesbian, and she might want to be a man one day, what they do is they bind their chest. Young trans girls, they tuck. This shit about they're chopping off kids' body parts, this shit doesn't happen. And that's what they actually do. Binding chest or tucking. Period. Like this shit. Oh.
Kids porn in school.
Showing kids porn in school. Here the fuck we go with this shit now. These motherfuckers, see, everybody who thinks that kids should not get taught sex education is themselves allied with, or at least probably themselves, a fucking pedophile. Cause it's like they will send, and it's like, don't get me wrong. And grant you, maybe some books got into schools that shouldn't have been in there, right? But they purposefully send far right bad actors to look through school libraries so they can find stuff to say that this school was grooming children when it's a dusty ass book that nobody fucking reads. And it's like the most important part to this is that kids don't read. Kids don't fucking read. Kids don't, go to the fucking library and pick up books about anything anymore, whether it's pornographic or fucking not. And the most you would get is a group of dudes in the back of the classroom looking through the science book, science book rather, to see a picture of a penis or some boobs or some shit like that. And then they giggle at the fucking Venn diagram of a boob or or a penis or something like that. Because that's what most of these books have. They have Venn diagrams. They don't have like actual pictures of like, okay, these are boobs or something like that. Or this is a vagina, and they got like a big ass red circle around it. No, it's gonna be a Venn diagram, period, or a diagram of one of how it works. What goes on in it, and it's gonna have like little numbers and stuff that tells you different parts of it. So this shit about kids getting groomed by school books. I remember sex education, and I know, and not to mention myself over the past, when I was a kid reading encyclopedias and textbooks for no good reason. I was one of the kids that did that, but most kids don't, especially nowadays, too concerned with other shit like phones and video games. But if you go on these books, most of the time it's a Venn diagram. You got like a line and a number, and they be like clitoris, hole, and ovaries, and it looked like that, or penis. It'd have head, such and such artery and stuff like that. And I don't even think they would call it like a ball sack. I think they just call them testicles and shit. So this shit about porn being in school books is bullshit. And it's like, and if you want to ask my opinion, do you think kids should have Venn diagrams of their sexual organs and body parts, explained to them, or at least in books so they can learn about them? Yes. So they can know what, if somebody is touching them or something like that, they know what's happening and why it's happening. And when they do become of age and ready to have sex, they know what to do and how to do it safely, and they won't have to do no experimental shit, and they won't wind up, with an early pregnancy and what have you. So sex education in many parameters is nothing but a win. Keep in mind, these are the same people that don't want safe sex, but at the same time complain about abortions.
There's two sexes, and that's it. So anything out of that, it's just based on lies and nonsense.
Yeah. Did you grow up? I know you grew up.
I'm supposed to listen to this slurred speech, stupid bitch, instead of like all the millions of scientific organizations that validate trans people. I'm supposed to like listen to you. There's just like fake. It's not like real. Anything outside of male and female is not real. Just like trust me. Like, you sound like you can't even fucking read. Why the fuck do I care about anything that you have to say?
In a sort of a more conservative
Can't even talk in a
community.
complete sentence.
Do you know any LGBTQ people growing up? What was your exposure to that community just in life prior to sort of understanding the world through politics?
I never really paid attention to it.
So you didn't have any LGBTQ friends or anything?
No.
Family members?
No.
So your first exposure...
See, I think she's like extremely fucking lying here, because this is what right-wing grifters do. They act like they have never... It's like, dude... And it's like, I hate to ascribe shit to people, but it's like throughout your entire life, even me as a straight man, you don't go your entire life without meeting one gay person. Not one gay person, not one trans person, not one LGBT person, not having them in your classroom. So when you went to high school, 100% of all the kids in there were gay. I'm not saying, because gay people are a minority, and you don't really see them like that till this day, I'm sure, in classrooms or in like, life in general, in college and stuff like that. Gay people are a minority. But at the end of the day, at the same time, I kind of feel like, you're stretching it if you say that you have never, ever seen or like a gay or a trans person before. And I'm not saying that, you know, it's not people in the closet that makes themselves invisible, or people that try to, you know, make themselves invisible because they fear like persecution and shit. But I'm saying for the most part, throughout your entire life, you're gonna at least see or meet one or two openly gay people. So I don't believe that shit.
Exposure to the LGBTQ world was through basically learning about it through the media ecosystem.
Through themselves, actually, they would say exactly what their intentions are, what their whole movement is about. So I learned about it through watching their own videos.
Oh, so you learned about what you made up about what they said.
I don't know. What sort of videos were you watching? I mean, are you just talking about the TikToks that you share and stuff?
And tons more on TikTok. It's all over TikTok.
Yeah.
Very easy to find.
Yeah. I'm curious, you know.
Oh, that's how you make experiences. See, and if you was to do this shit in reverse to them, they wouldn't like it. So, like, if I saw a white person doing a vlog about why their cousin has the best pussy, and then I was like, see, look, this is what white people do. These motherfuckers would fucking turn their houses upside down, be ready to kill me, and in my comment section calling me N-words and shit. So I don't like that. That's fucking stupid fucking argument.
Oh, I feel like there's been, especially on my colleagues have done great reporting on sort of like this.
Well, yesterday I saw 5 videos of white people saying that they want to fuck their cousin. So is that all white people now? Okay then, by her logic, I get to say that now.
I know that you have a very conservative fan base, and in your comments sometimes you'll see a lot of commentary about sort of the great replacement theory. What are your thoughts on that?
What are your
Let me help you out. Let me get something to drink so I can help you say that properly. How do you Jewish women feel about having a neo-Nazi following in your audience?
Your thoughts on the comments on your post telling me to kill myself?
Horrible. Yeah, horrible. Obviously against that. Yeah.
So would you come out and condemn that publicly?
Oh, I would condemn it anytime. I'm against murdering anyone, of course.
So you're against death threats against me?
I'm a big, as somebody that's dealt with a lot of online harassment, I don't defend threatening to murder anyone. But I guess I'm curious,
because a lot of times it comes after an attack in the media, like someone like you or another journalist.
So are you saying that, like, if somebody posts something and then attacks follow, that person should answer for those attacks?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
Cornered, you stupid bitch.
Saying that people like you tell me that all the time, so I'm just asking if you think the same thing.
So it would apply to you too, bitch.
Said that here, but I think it's kind of interesting, I guess, in the conservative movement, there's this ideology around sort of white nationalism, which is
it's really fucking pathetic that you gotta ask these motherfuckers the same question more than once.
Jewish communities, and I'm wondering, as a Jewish woman, how do you feel about sort of aligning yourself with those people and accounts? You see this sort of rhetoric in your replies, and I only bring it up. I'm not saying that you necessarily endorse that rhetoric. I would imagine that you don't. But how do you kind of think about those nuances when you're thinking about kind of the audience that you're building?
Some of your audience says we should chop off kids' body parts. What do you think about that?
I don't know what you're talking.
They love to do this shit, like, because the thing about it is that she can't answer this because she don't want to piss off too much of her fan base. Either way it goes, because it's either A, she got to incriminate herself and say that she believes in a great replacement neo-Nazi conspiracy theory, or she has to say that she doesn't believe in it and piss off a good amount of her audience. So yeah, she's kind of she's cornered on this subject. So now she just says the most hyperbolic, stupidest fucking thing that she can think of to try to, veer the conversation
About
away from her being accountable.
To be a boy, so she chops off her breast.
I'm a big, I believe in personal liberty and bother.
No, I wouldn't even talk about that shit where I was like, that's not what we're talking about right now. I asked you, how do you feel about the neo-Nazi great replacement theory that's among your fan base? I asked you that. We would get to quote-unquote chopping off child's body parts later, but right now we're talking about this. Don't change the subject like that. That's disrespectful. We're supposed to be having a fluid conversation. We are on camera right now. you're being very unprofessional.
Bodily autonomy personally.
So kids should be able to cut off their breasts if they think that they're boys.
I mean, I believe in gender ideology. I guess I personally, my feeling is that I believe in personal liberty. I grew up in a town where a lot of people, for their middle school graduation, women got nose jobs. I knew somebody that got a boob job at age 14. And I guess I struggle to kind of understand the criticism when there's certainly no criticism of that sort of thing, right? But then there's criticism of this other sort of gender affirming, stuff. So
you're comparing a boy being allowed to chop off his penis to a teenage girl getting a nose job?
You're doing that.
Just to be extra clear, I don't believe that 13-year-olds are able to make those sort of medical decisions.
Minors are, yeah.
Oh, really? And where?
Yeah. Children's National Hospital in D.C. gives 16-year-olds hysterectomies.
Oh, 16-year-olds.
They don't.
Gave me that. They told me that directly.
And I think they said that she got on the phone with somebody who was confused or didn't not fully know the medical procedures, and she was recording, in bad faith, and she wound up getting somebody to say something that the hospital really doesn't do. So
they said 16 girls and younger. That's what they said. So hysterectomies. There are definitely minors. I know for sure as young as 12 who are getting double mastectomies. They definitely allow vaginoplasties for minors and phalloplasties. I'm not aware of a specific case of a minor, but they allow 18-year-olds.
Yeah, I wish
Okay,
18-year-olds you're in a.
I don't have any cases of a minor doing it, but they allow 18-year-olds. What are 18-year-olds again?
Adult. But let's just get back to the Great Replacement stuff, because I'm curious, what are your thoughts on that whole ideology?
I mean, how many? There were times that there were some months over the past 3 years that there were more illegals coming into our border than children being born.
You think that's physically possible for for number one, for more people to cross the Mexican-American border than it is people organically being born in the country as American citizens? Unless this bitch does it, and I wouldn't be surprised, think that certain demographics of people aren't Americans. That's number one. Two, Joe Biden, just like Obama and just like Trump, although not being racist about it and sort of just quietly doing it, have been deporting people too. So this bullshit about the border not being secure and people not being deported is a right-wing lie sold to you by white supremacists that want you to vote against your own interests. There's not a flood of illegals running into America.
The U.S. Does that not look like they're trying to replace us?
I guess sort of imagine
bringing
America
in a whole
as
new population.
A melting pot. Isn't that sort of what America was founded
No,
on?
but they're actually bringing in more people than are actually being born.
That's not physically possible.
It sounds like you sort of do ascribe to this theory of the Great Replacement. How does that make
I just
you
look at
feel?
the facts and the numbers.
Well, so, I mean, just let's give a corollary, right? A lot of Jewish people fled,
Not even just that, because the real narrative of the Great Replacement neo-Nazi conspiracy theory that you got to keep in mind is that Jews, or elites or intellectuals or the Illuminati or deep state elites or the Matrix, whatever they want to call them that day, are bringing in illegals to displace and take jobs and opportunities away from white people. That's what that conspiracy theory is. It means, and to be a Jewish woman that agrees with it is it's kind of an oxymoron.
Europe came over here also as immigrants. And there's a lot of criticism towards Jewish people in those movements, in those far-right movements. So I'm just wondering, as a Jewish woman, sort of how you feel about that and your role in cultivating this fan base that might think of you as a minority, an outsider.
Not all cultures are equal.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know you have a lot of concerns about educational materials and books.
Because it's like, how do you feel about Jewish people coming over here back in the day, but you would say these people don't? Well, racism.
Books and things, especially.
They're importing people who want to destroy America, and who come here.
What do? Do they come get a low-paying job that and I hate to be like this, that most like regular Americans won't work. And they destroy America by like what, collecting your garbage, like mowing your lawns, stocking your grocery stores and hardware stores. They destroy America by shoveling your snow, running the machines in your plants in like your lower skilled jobs and stuff like that. So they destroy America by, damn, it seems like adding more productivity to the country. Got it.
And do not stand for what America stands for. So, and I think, and we see it. There's time after time after time after time. They come in, they're destroying our cities. They bring crime with them, and they are bringing them in to replace
Crime is already here. What the fuck, bro? Come on.
us. And yeah, I think people from various countries, they're all different.
So,
The way that she talks like she can't read, and the fact that she's a white supremacist is a good it's a good argument for bringing the immigrants and deport racist people. Because we should send her ass to Mexico and bring like literally anybody. We can replace her with like literally anybody, please.
just back to the sort of education stuff. I know that you're interested in removing a bunch of books from libraries that you consider inappropriate. I was just wondering, out of all the books that you've sort of tried to get removed, how many have you read?
I've read a couple of them.
None of them, because she can't fucking read. Look at how she talk.
Which ones?
Genderqueer.
Uh-huh.
I've read This Book is Gay.
Uh-huh.
I've read Flamer. I've read, what were some of the other ones?
See, you can't even think of them. Come on, which ones did you fucking read? Damn, wasting people's time.
It Feels Good to Be Yourself. Mm-hmm. There's so many more. Tons of them.
Name more of them.
I feel like
Name some more of them.
you are, or at least I feel like you've spoken about free speech before and the need for free speech and sort of supported Elon Musk's sentiments in that area. Would you say that you're a free speech supporter?
Yeah.
So how do you square the sort of being this free speech supporter with wanting to ban literature?
What kind of literature?
Any kind of literature. I mean, I would think that
what kind of literature am I trying to ban?
Oh, I thought you were just trying to say that you...
You literally just named a list of books that you wanted banned and stuff like that. You're trying to ban books about sex education. Like, literally. Do we have to say it for you? Because you're trying to, like, do it in a way so you can get people to say, like, oh, you're trying to ban books that you find obscene. I wouldn't even give her the gravity. I'd just say you're trying to get basic sex education books banned for no good reason.
You've made an effort to get books removed from schools.
What kind of books?
Books dealing with LGBTQ people and sexual
No, that's
education.
not what I said.
Oh, so you're not trying to get any books banned from school?
That's not what I said either.
Oh my god. So are you trying to get books banned or what? You see, this is why I always say don't give conservatives the narrative when it comes to free speech, because when you really break down, you ask them what they believe, they cannot, their positions, like their political positions and stuff that they want to get rid of are ironically anti-freedom of expression and anti-free speech. When these motherfuckers are defending free speech, it's never anybody saying anything good. It's always somebody saying something bad.
Either.
Okay, why don't you explain to me how you're thinking about this?
You just accused me of wanting to ban books. What kind of books am I trying to ban?
You tell me.
You're trying to ban the books.
I'm not trying to ban anything.
Oh, you're not trying to ban any books?
Who said I'm trying to ban?
Oh, you're not trying to do anything. You see, I've noticed this lately about a lot of fucking a lot of fascist commentators and shit like that of many different varieties, where when you ask them about shit that they're trying to do, because like literally I think the better example of this, and the one that I laugh about the most, is misogynist. But this can also apply to anti-LGBT people too, because they get on podcasts, we hate these LGBT motherfuckers are indoctrinating children, they're grooming our children, they're fucking rapists, they're fucking pedophiles, you gotta fight now, you gotta ban these fucking books. And then when you get them in front of a camera and ask them like, so what's your hang up about LGBT people and sex education? What? Me? I'm not trying to ban anything. What? I just like family and reading, and I just want to make sure our kids get a good education just like anybody else. I'm not trying to ban anything. What?
And books.
Are you trying to remove books from libraries?
From public school libraries.
Okay. So how do you square your sort of notion of free speech and free expression and allowing all of that stuff with wanting literature removed and wanting access to information removed?
What kind of literature?
You tell me.
Porn. Gay porn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what do you consider gay porn in these books?
So you want to see it?
See, bro, I would have knocked her phone out of her hand if she showed me a Venn diagram of like gay, like anal sex or something like that. Like she showed me a Venn diagram and I would have knocked her phone out of her fucking hand. Or this bitch is pulling up something off like a porn website to like glare and air on camera.
Are you talking about the stuff that you've tweeted, basically? You consider
Yeah,
it
like there's
inappropriate?
pictures of like blowjobs and like how to have gay sex with like naked people and people masturbating and stuff. Yeah.
Did you?
It's so frustrating being a person that actually remembers like what was in a sex education book. Cause I graduated from high school in 2014. You know, I'm in my late 20s, and when we had sex education, the only thing I remember in these books were Venn diagrams of anal sex and vaginal intercourse. I do not remember it being any like full like colored photos of like two men fucking each other or something. I don't know what the fuck she's on about.
Like pictures of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. And
Yeah.
I went to public school. And we had a sex ed class in public school where we were shown, information about sexual health and, sex and masturbation and things like that. I'm curious about your own education. I mean, was that something did you ever go to a sex ed class, or is this all sort of new to you where you're sort of learning about how this works in public schools?
I don't live under a rock.
So you did have sex ed classes when you were growing up?
We had some kind of education, yeah.
Uh-huh. So you do think it's important for children to have education, sex education?
Not the way they're doing it in public schools.
Uh-huh. How are they doing it?
They're giving kids porn and telling third graders that they should masturbate. They're giving
Third graders. See, these motherfuckers, after like a few minutes or two, they just immediately just start lying about shit that's not fucking happening. Like, yes, they're really breaking out. Because, like, look, before you get into, like, late middle school, they don't even tell you, like, words like penis or buttocks or, vagina and stuff like that. They just literally say, these are your no-no parts. Girls have no-no parts here and no parts back here, and little boys have their no parts right here and right here, and if anybody touches them, you tell the teacher or you tell your parent. And that's sex education for fucking elementary school. Nobody's in elementary school saying like you should masturbate or like get sex change operations and shit.
middle school children guides to gay sex and anal sex, sex toys.
How would you describe the type of sex education that you would like to see in schools?
At this point, I want all sex education actually removed from schools because I don't trust the schools to do it.
Okay.
After what we've seen, I don't trust them at all.
The pro-pedophilia position. Got you.
We need to completely eradicate it and then redo it in a normal way that's appropriate.
So I saw you that you got banned from Stripe today. How much money did you have tied up in that platform?
That's what it's all about, baby.
I'm not going to get into that. Mm-hmm. They already restored me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're back.
Yeah.
I noticed, I think it was around last summer, you deleted a lot of your tweets and you kind of stopped posting. This is when Seth Dillon kind of tweeted, asking if you fell off or, saying that you weren't posting as you used to. What happened during that time, and did you think about quitting?
I have no idea, and no, I never thought about quitting.
Mm-hmm. Why'd you delete
Too
all
much
your
money.
posts?
I mean, look, being a leftist person or a liberal, you actually have to have facts, data, empirical research, social analysis, and life experiences that give you ideas of what you can talk about in your content. Being a fucking white supremacist propagandist, whether you're focused on LGBT people, misogyny, or race, and apparently she does all three, but it's very fucking easy because you can just quote anything out of context, lie about shit, make things up, promote conspiracy theories, share conspiracy theories made by other people, and it's an endless cycle of money because there's an endless cycle of suckers that will keep biting the bait. So Yeah, she probably is gonna unfortunately be with us for a while because notice my channel or even other left wing channels, even the really big ones. Right wing channels are so big because it's so easy to promote. It's easier to promote conspiracy theories than it is to actually talk about issues in a more nuanced way. So yeah, unfortunately, gonna be here for a while.
It was just a one-time editorial decision. I stand by all my posts.
Um, you know, I guess speaking of deleting posts, you still have a post up accusing the Uvalde shooter of being trans. Obviously, that's been debunked.
Yeah, there's a community note on it.
So
Yeah.
why not remove that post if you're so comfortable with removing posts?
Because there's a community note. I think it's clear.
Because your lie matters more than the truth under it. Because, like, why the fuck would you even lie about something like that unless you just, like, completely, you just hate trans people that much where you try to, like, blame. And it's like, dude, not to mention the fact that most shootings are done by, cis straight men, especially cis straight white men. And it's like, you are literally, like, desperate to try to. You're so desperate to promote your anti trans agenda that you dare try to, like this bitch is trying to marry together a horrifying incident to LGBT people in a very desperate way. And even after getting called out on the lie, even like I think it's like 2 years later after the lie, she still won't delete the shit.
It's obviously it was unintentional. There was a watermark on it. It was from a meme, an account that was going around. And I'm glad there's a
That
community
doesn't
note so
matter.
people
You're
know
still
that.
responsible for what
Do
it's
you
saying. You
believe
share it
if,
on your
say, a
fucking
journalist
page.
posts something factually incorrect or wrong, especially about someone else, if somebody was to say something factually wrong about you, do you believe they should remove that, or do you think they should be able to keep that content up?
Twitter is free speech.
Oh.
People like.
Look at that. Every time this bitch gets cornered, bro. So now, in order to maintain her position, to just be able to slander, libel, and lie about people, she's gonna use the free speech argument. There's a thin line, but there's a difference between libel and free speech. And this bitch clearly knows the difference, but she got cornered in by that by that statement slash question. And now she's just gonna, ignore it completely and start talking about free speech for no reason.
Lie about me all the time on there, and
And it's doubtful that anybody, and it's the thing about right wing people too that pisses me off, is that they say that people lie about the things that they believe or the things that they say, but nobody has to lie about shit that you do. People can just screenshot, share, retweet, and post things that you posted, things that you've said. It's not that difficult. And it's not even about smearing you. It's just this is the shit you're doing and saying, and people are reposting it.
they don't get taken down. If you want, it has to go both ways.
So you believe that people should be allowed to keep up wrong information about you and have no recourse, be able to keep that up?
Free speech is free speech.
Okay, so I'm kind of curious how you square that with the letter that you sent this morning to V Sphere, claiming that you were going to try to sue her for slander. If free speech is free speech, then why are you threatening your critics with lawsuits?
Well, defamation is different.
So would you call misidentifying a shooter's sexuality defamation?
No, I wouldn't. Like I said, there's already a community note on it, so I'm glad that people now.
And you admit that it's wrong, right? Was the Uvalde
Yeah,
shooter
and
trans?
I wasn't the creator of that image.
Sure, but you can imagine if somebody amplified wrong information.
The media, like Washington Post and other places, they lie all the time. They're never held accountable. They never remove it. They lie and lie and lie. So.
Several citations needed. I'm not gonna say media organizations are perfect or anything, and that they don't lie, but in the context that they do lie is not something that benefits, even liberalism at times or leftists. But at the end of the day, I feel like the standards that these people, they hold themselves to, they are not lying as much as she's like bitching about. When they talk about her or any of her compatriots, like the stuff that they do and say, the only thing that they have to do is repost or just say the thing that they did and said.
I am not gonna. If you want to hold me to that level, then I get to hold you to that level as well,
Huh?
and all the other media. So I just don't think.
Look, man, I'm only gonna last a few more minutes listening to this bitch, bro. She is so fucking stupid. Like, this motherfucker thought this whole entire conversation cannot engage with any subject. Everything has to be about something else.
You know, we're not it's not accurate to compare it, because
Was the Uvalde shooter trans?
the Uvalde shooter wasn't trans.
Got it. And so I guess knowing that you've posted wrong information, you're saying it should stay up and everybody else should be allowed to keep whatever they have up as well. Is that sort of your stance?
Consistent.
Am I accurately understanding it?
Is there a law against?
Bitches.
No, I'm not asking law. I'm just
Lying?
asking your personal sort of opinion. I'm just kind of curious because it seems like you have come after other people, such as vSphere and other critics, saying you posted wrong information about me, take it down. I totally get that. That's your prerogative.
It's different with defaming a journalist like that.
Huh?
They're defaming me.
And you don't
What?
think that calling a shooter trans when they weren't trans is defaming anyone?
No.
Okay, interesting. I guess I'm
They're
kind
like they're knowingly lying about me.
And you know you're lying now too, because you got not only a community note, and you got like a Wikipedia page and several news posts, including right-wing news posts that are saying that this person wasn't trans, but you're choosing to keep the lie up anyway. That's the difference. You're not lying because you don't have all the information. You're lying because you just feel like lying.
And what would you say that you did when you sort of posted that about the shooter being trans?
Like I said, an image that was going around for months that I shared from another thing accidentally, and I'm glad there's a community note on it.
So you don't think you hold responsibility for it if you share
and
it?
sort of a more traditional culture. What does your family and think of your success?
These motherfuckers get on my
made a
nerves
huge
with
career.
that. Because at one point, especially when we're talking about like social problems, they say everybody holds personal responsibility. Then you point out things that they do that's like bad and that they shouldn't be doing. Then all of a sudden, it's like, well, it's not my fault. I heard it from this or that place.
Career for yourself. You're obviously a rising star in conservative media. How's that affected your interpersonal relationships?
I'm not going to get personal. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to get into my personal relationships.
Yeah. How's it?
The person that's never invited to any dinners, any bar mitzvahs, any birthday parties, I bet they don't invite you any fucking where because nobody likes you. Because, you know, believe it or not, and this is one thing that a lot of Jewish people realize, is that all right-wing conspiracy theories are fueled by anti-Semitism. And, you know, for you to make money and profit off the persecution of your own people has to be very distasteful in the community of your friends and family members. I can imagine that nobody fucking likes you.
It affected your life? I mean, just dealing with this sort of fame relatively overnight.
So, I mean, thanks in partly to you, there's been a lot of like death threats, a lot of really nasty messages.
But you seem kind of proud about the press that you've received. I mean, your
boo.
profile picture is holding up a newspaper with you in the headline.
Yeah, a newspaper where they just basically lied about me. I thought it's funny that they just continue to make up these like lies and libels. I
You've
think that's
gotten
It's
a
not really lies. I think a lot of the things about people calling her a stochastic terrorist or a terrorist, a lot of this information and data was corroborated not through just investigative journalists, but by the FBI also. I'm not sure if the FBI is investigating this motherfucker, but they should. But at the end of the day, every time you cover a person or a story about a school or a hospital, they get call-ins of bomb threats and other threats of terror. Last week, an innocent young person was like literally taken to the bathroom and beaten to death by a group of bullies because of people like you. So, yeah, like when people are saying that you're a stochastic terrorist and that you and the things that you promote and report on cause terror, they're not wrong.
I mean, even if you discount the mainstream media and just talk about the conservative media, I think your platform has risen pretty significantly. what changes has it had on you? I mean, I cover the content creator industry, and I've seen a lot of people go from sort of a very low-key life, which I would imagine you were living before, to a massive amount of attention and, money and powerful people around you. How has that affected you?
Like I said, some safety issues. In part thanks to you and to some other members of the media.
Don't blame that shit on her. No, sir, fucking Ree, no, you don't. Like, I love when they do this shit and stuff. Like, first of all, I'm not gonna say that there's not left-leaning or liberal people that are out there not threatening people, but I feel as though most left-leaning and even leftists and liberals, especially liberals, they are not the type of people who are militantly out there putting on army fatigues coming to hunt people down. That's a exclusively right-wing phenomenon. Y'all motherfuckers are the terrorists. Y'all motherfuckers are the ones that are trying to destroy democracy and destroy our country. Y'all are the motherfuckers that are always talking about how you're gonna go in schools and handle teachers that are teaching your kids sexual information, or how you're going to come to black neighborhoods to citizen arrest black criminals. So I don't want to hear this shit when you talk about crime and criminality, that y'all all of a sudden are just like y'all it's lost on you. That's bullshit.
But I'm not going to get into my personal life.
Oh no, not about your personal life. I'm just wondering about your career aspirations. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
We'll see. You can make all the plans you want, and God could decide something else. So
you don't have any sort of
this segment has gone on longer than I thought. I want to get to a point when she asked her about like misogyny and like sexualization of young people. I think it was like somewhere towards the end of the conversation when she asked her about that.
And some of the sort of sexualization of young women, especially in the right-wing media ecosystem. There's a focus.
Damn, I clicked perfectly to the point of the interview that I wanted to go over last. Yes, and it's like I love asking transphobic and homophobic people this question. People that always go around complaining about pedophilia never say anything about right-wing pedophilia and sexualization of young people and shit like that, because like, dude, they are fucking weird as fuck. And as a man, I'm gonna break it down further than she would. Y'all right-wing niggas, all y'all red pill motherfuckers are fucking weird. These motherfuckers act like if a woman is a day over 23, if she has a stretch mark, if she has a mole, if she has like a little bit too much hair, if she is like, if her ass is too big, oh, she's ugly, she looks old. If you don't have a man by 25, you might as well give up. This hypersexualization and this cult worship of youthfulness in women leads to a society that embraces pedophilia more. Period. Full fucking stop. Because we should not be promoting shit talking about women are sexier before X or Y age. Women are sexy at all fucking ages. You got women that are 35, 40, still fine as fuck. Even women that are in their fucking 50s and shit still look pretty fucking good. So this shit where, and it's like, Tate, Sneeko, our prime example is Peterson, Michael Knowles, Steven Crowder has done videos about it, where the only way a woman can be good looking is if she's young. Yeah, that's a real fucking issue. And and this ties into, like I said, the body shaming shit previously, is that they act as if a woman, if she has any age or life experience, and it's like because they want to take advantage of young women, of course. And is in the easiest demographic of women to take advantage of and shit, especially if you're kind of like a settled man, or even if you're a mediocre man, is very young women. Not to say that all young women are stupid or anything, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like on average, if a young woman meets like a 40-year-old man, because like even in your late 20s, because like okay. For me, for the most part, if I'm like, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, you want to meet a woman that's within the same 6-year bracket as you, 5-6 year bracket. So if you like 30, you want to meet a woman usually that's like 25 and up. But if you are like, a fucking piece of shit looking for people to take advantage of, you go for women that are 21, that are 20, 30, even all the way down to 18. So I really don't have nothing to add to that because yes, like this hypersexualization of young women is an exclusively egregious right wing phenomena, and I'm glad that Taylor's confronting her about this.
Focus on youth and women. There's a focus on sort of women under 25, women losing value with age. This is stuff, you know, that's been
I'm a
platformed on the
woman
Daily Wire.
in the conservative movement. I never once felt sexualized.
You've never felt
Because you
sexualized
ugly.
yourself, but
Don't
I'm
worry
saying,
about it.
why don't you speak out about sort of sexual abuse in the straight world, I guess?
So you just changed topics.
No,
No.
she
I'm
didn't.
saying, like, you're saying we're against the sexualization of kids.
Yeah.
One group of children that's constantly sexualized is young women. 13-year-old girls, 14-year-old girls are constantly sexualized on the internet, often by conservatives. So I'm wondering, especially given, you know, what some commentary has come from like people at the Daily Wire, for instance, right? They've made comments about young women, women losing value with age, which is kind of a pedophilic ideology. Why
Michael
not
knows,
speak out on
Matt
that?
Walsh.
I've never seen that. I have no evidence.
You've never seen young
Oh
women getting
God.
sexualized?
I focus on kids.
And you've never seen young girls getting sexualized?
I've seen young girls getting sexualized. I'm referring to the Daily Wire thing. I can't answer
Okay,
for
but
that.
but let's just
Matt
talk about
Walsh
young
does
girls.
it
Why
in
don't you
almost
speak out
every
about
fucking
that? Why don't
tweet.
you
Look,
speak out
dude,
about sort of
when Matt Walsh is not being a fucking neo-Nazi talking about how Western civilization is being destroyed by black or gay people, he's sexualizing women and talking about how he wants a 19-year-old girlfriend to go in the kitchen and cook for him and shit. So fuck off with this. Like they like this like. And to like ignore the right wing phenomena of sexualization of women, you gotta completely fucking shut your brain down and play la la la. I'm not fucking listening. There's no way you can ignore that shit. And it's like it's not every video and everything that they do, but when they're talking about, especially when they're doing their anti-feminism bits, it's always over sexualizing young women every fucking time. And the only way you can not see that shit is if you close your eyes and ears.
heteronormative cisgender men, traditional men, sexualizing young girls, young female girls.
I speak out about the sexualization of kids.
No,
But you
you don't.
speak out about sort of the sexualization of kids by straight people.
I don't discriminate on who's sexualizing the kids.
But
If the
you,
kids
I mean, it seems like you do to me in your media coverage, because if you weren't an inconsistent pedophile lover, you would be covering because literally, like this bitch. Think about it. Okay, look, if this bitch was consistent, remember that the past 2 years, or technically today, we're dealing with a lot of Andrew Tate shit, right? A lot of Andrew Tate shit where he's talking about over sexualizing women and OnlyFans models and being a pimp and abusing women and all this other shit. And then the fact that this bad behavior is getting passed on to a mostly young audience and shit. But oddly enough, Libs of TikTok hasn't said a damn thing about Andrew Tate. These people choose their battles as long as it protects their narrative and really don't care about the truth or being consistent about the things that they like and don't like.
being sexualized.
well, but there's only one group of kids that you're talking about, which is you're concerned about sort of people being sexualized by the LGBTQ community. I'm saying a lot of straight older men.
Not necessarily the LGBTQ. I mean, if they're, I don't want straight teachers to be talking about their sexuality in schools either.
So you wouldn't be okay with a
She's
straight
only
teacher.
she's only saying that for consistency's sake, because she's trying to save herself and make herself sound more consistent right now, because she's finally being confronted on this very hard question that I have never heard a homophobe or transphobe be able to answer. No. It's like when you ask these people this shit, none of them can ever just straight up answer why they don't cover or why they don't talk about it. Because like clearly when it comes to like over sexualization of young people, this is a complete right wing phenomena. And I'm not saying that there's not liberal left wing people who don't be on some weird shit sometimes. But the point being is that this is, like when I open a left wing video, right? Whether it's from a streamer or a video essayist, they are never the people that are talking about how women are ugly before they're 25. But anytime, and trust me, I'm an ex-incel. I was an incel when I was like between about 17 and 23. I was wrestling with inceldom, my political affiliations, and my understanding of the world. But I remember, back in the day, Stefan Molyneux, no BS, no bullshit, fucking Sunrise Hoodie, and what's another motherfucker I probably used to watch? And probably Dr. Shane. All these motherfuckers over sexualized women when it came to their youth. Or Thunderfoot. You know, all these motherfuckers did it. You know, back when I used to watch them. And the consistency of these beliefs and this over sexualization of young women carried on to the next generation of right wing grifters like Sneeko, Tate, Nick Fuentes, and Allsup Striker, and Peterson. I'm sure Hake. You know, there's hypersexualization of young women. You know, from and I'm sure even the people before the people I named that were trying to indoctrinate young men. You know, I'm sure it was a group of people on the internet then, or at least these beliefs were passed around throughout the generations somehow, if not on the internet. My point being is that the over sexualization of young women is a right wing phenomena, and when you ask right wing people about this shit, they can never just straight up answer it.
For instance, discussing their marriage.
I think it's weird. Why would someone discuss their marriage in a classroom?
Honestly, I don't know. You were a
Because
teacher.
maybe they're talking about life experiences, especially when it comes into high school and shit. Some teachers like to talk about their life experiences or things that they're going through at home or things that they're going to do. So are you telling me that you don't like when a teacher is like, yeah, I'm going on vacation next week with my wife and we're going to go to Florida and we're going to, we're going to go swimming and we're going to go to Disney World. So that's bad. And the same conversation can be applied to a gay teacher too, and it still be the same thing. Nothing about that conversation or talking about your marriage in that context is sexual. In fact, two of our teachers that were both, I believe, wasn't Mr. Wilson Jewish? I believe so. And I know Miss Maggie was Jewish too, or Miss Wilson now. But they got married. Like literally, two teachers that were staffed at my high school got married to one another. So, just saying.
Sure, I feel like teachers sometimes do that. I do think that there is a sexualization of children from straight couples. I mean, I know that I went shopping for a friend recently to find little baby onesies, and when you're looking for little boy baby onesies, a lot of them say, I want, where's my mommy's tits, or whatever. You see these kind of, I would say, sexual innuendo on babies' clothes. I've never seen you post about that. I've never seen you post about sort of sexualization from the straight community, I guess.
I don't discriminate against who's doing the sexualization. I guess, like, what are you defining as sexualization? But I've never said, like, oh, look, here's porn in school and the librarian is not straight. No, I don't care who the librarian is. I don't care if they're straight or gay or trans.
No, because the implicit blame with every single fucking thing you post is that LGBT teachers, librarians, and staff members are indoctrinating children with pornography or gay sex and shit like that. You literally just got done saying that for most of the beginning of this video. Even when she asked you about shit that don't have anything to do with what you're saying. Like, she asked you, how do you feel about the white supremacist great replacement theory? And then you was like, well, how do you feel about LGBT teachers teaching kids to be gay? You've been doing that the whole fucking video.
Or whatever they want to say they are.
Yeah, I just think it seems... I guess I wonder why you don't focus on sort of like young girls as a woman. I mean, were you ever sexualized as a young child?
No.
I find that interesting because I think all women kind of experience that, although it depends on your community. But I do think that there's a focus on women and age as well. And there's this notion that women lose value as they age. And I know I hear that all the time in my comments from conservatives.
I've never once seen that. Actually.
You've never seen that?
No.
Oh my fucking god. I think we got all we can get out of this video. Yeah, so if you're interested in this debate, you should go watch the whole thing yourself. I can't take it anymore.